Hi, moms. Hi, dads. Hi, parents. Hi, guardians. And hi to everyone who is responsible to one child or the other. I just wanted to share something about how I successfully potty trained my now 3 year old plus and then 2 year old. And I thought potty training was going to be a very difficult task. I hear a lot of parents or moms talk about, oh my god, it's so difficult potty training. My whole house is in a mess and everything. Was our house in a mess or is it in a mess when we're potty training? The answer is yes, because my daughter will say, Mommy, accidents still happen. Yes, because accidents still happen once in a while. So I'll just share some useful tips that I found very useful and it worked for us and I believe it would work for you as well. So the first cue for us to start potty training our little girl was she was really showing signs that she was tired putting on nappies. So for example, you put on nappy for her and then she would remove it and she'll just be running around the house without the nappy. Or for example, the nappy is a little wet. She won't be able to stand, the wee touching her bum bum, and as a result she would take off the nappy. And we were like, these are the signs. These are, signs she's giving to us that she's really tired, or she would, why not put a trainer? And then we started, and that was when she was about 2 years old. So the first thing for us was she was showing signs, and we're like, okay, let's get into it if you're showing signs. And what we did was we did not replenish our what's it called, nappies. So when the current one finished, that was the end of it. We did not do any replenishment, and that was it. And then we went to the store one day and she was like, Papa, am I nappy? And we're like, no, you're not a big girl. We need to potty train you. And she was so happy because it was something new to her. So we informed her, we carried her along that you're going to be potty trained. No more nappies for you. And that's it. And the other thing we did was we started to watch cartoons just about potty training, hygiene surrounding potty training, because if you don't follow good hygienes, especially for a female child, the chances of having urinary infection is very high. So potty training and hygiene goes, side by side. So we watched some cartoons. I'm going to be, showing all these things or linking all these things so we'll see as we go along. We watched some cartoons to show them, sit on your potty, how you clean your bum, what do you need to do after using the potty or the restroom. So either your potty at home or either toilet, public toilets, what should you do in terms of washing your hand, wiping your hand. Don't put your hand directly on toilet surfaces and the rest of those. So we went ahead to watch cartoons. We made her informed so she's knowledgeable and she's aware. Obviously she was talking, her sentences were clear. She could communicate properly that she wants to use the toilet or she wants to wee wee. And the next thing we did was we bought appropriate potties. There was potties literally almost everywhere in the house. So we have the step one upstairs in the toilet upstairs, and we just folded it. It was collapsible. We kept it beside the toilet so she could help herself anytime. So one of the things we even did was we left that potty kind of permanently stationed on the toilet, on one of the toilets upstairs, so she could access it whenever she wanted to. And we bought another potty, another seater, like a guarded seat that would help a child not to fall into the toilet because they are still small. We kept that one downstairs. And somewhere in the living room, we kept the proper potty. My daughter really loved this potty, and that's if you feel your child is someone that likes, something fanciful and something, you could use that to attract them to potty train. So the potty had a flusher. It was like a miniature toilet, like a proper toilet, and she really found that, really good, interesting. Oh, mommy, I wee that my toilet is flushing. There's even a place for her to hang what's it called, that tissue paper. She found that really good. So we bought appropriate potties. We made sure that regardless where she was in the house, she had access to potties or toilet, something that would, encourage her not to wee on herself, but to use the toilet. And then we bought appropriate PJs. Oh my God. So my little one would usually wear onesies to sleep, especially because of the cold weather. And the first night we did this, it was war getting the onesie out, removing her leg, dragging it down. Before we could remove the onesie, before we could wear it back, she was fully awake at night. And that was like problem number one. So which meant you needed to buy a two-piece, which is the top and the bottom, where all you just need to do is to bring down the trouser and boom, that's it. So appropriate PJs were very, very important during our process of potty training the little one. And then the next thing we did was to set periodic alarms. I mean, you could sleep off at night forgetting anything was happening. And mind you, your child is already used to nappies. There's no worries of waking up at night. If they wheeze, they wee in their nappy. So we had to set periodic alarm like every 3 hours to remember to wake her up to wee. And then, we got used to it. And as time went by, we increased it to for every 4 hours. And yeah, so setting periodic alarm was very important. One very important thing we did was to reduce our water intake at least an hour or 2 hours before bedtime. So she goes to bed by 8:30. She eats dinner by 6:30, and that's it. That's the water she takes. We don't deprive her of water before then. So during the day, we make sure she has a lot of water. She drinks a lot of water, and she's well hydrated, and she's fine. But an hour or two before bedtime or during dinner time is the last, what liquid you take. No milk, no drink after dinner, brush your teeth, that's it. And again, this is to make sure that shortly before she goes to bed, the last thing she does before good night mama, good night papa is she goes to wee again. So she would usually wee again before sleeping. And that ensures that whatever liquid she's taking at dinner time, and during the day, she has weed out a very decent amount of it during the last wee before bedtime, just to make sure that that the 3 hours alarm we've set is very decent, and there is no urge to wee in the next 2 hours or just shortly after going to bed, and as a result wetting the bed or something. So, and then whenever she uses the potty or she wees properly, we give her a well done sticker. So we have a sticker around the potty or just on surfaces, and we say, well done, good job. And believe me, that was what we did. So we took turns. My husband sleeps late, so whenever I do the bedtime, say outfit for example, I make sure she wees before going to bed. And then she wheezes good night, that's it. And I, obviously try to go to bed as well. But my husband sleeps late. Sometimes he's awake 10, half 10, 11. So just shortly before my husband goes to bed, before 11, he makes sure he wakes her up and she does that 3 hours wee after bedtime. So I don't need to, because a lot of parents can be wondering, oh, this is stressful waking up every 3 hours. I mean, you could check your family life, your family pattern. How do you work, or what works for you? And like I said, I go to bed just shortly after baby goes to bed, and then our little one goes to bed. Husband still stays awake till 11. He wakes baby up, and that's fantastic, which means I still get to sleep for as long as I want to without having to wake up. And then after 11, obviously we do another 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock when they're waking up. So you find out that you're waking up like once or twice basically at night. Were there accidents? Yes. Will your house be messy? Yes. So maybe, for example, they're having daytime nap, or they fell asleep on the couch, and then boom, mommy, they're just jumping up just after they've already wet what's it called, the sofa or something. I mean, life goes on, accident happens, but this is something they need. This is a very important and an integral part of their life. This is us helping them to build their body alarm, waking them up, and the rest of those. What were the struggles? Sometimes you wake her up after 3 hours and you're there for 10 good minutes. She's refusing to wee because she doesn't want to wee. But we're training her, we're forcing her body to empty her bladder, even though the bladder is not full, you're not feeling that urge. We get her to wake up. She wakes up, and she does a wee. And you know what? There was one morning, um, even with the alarm, we slept up. We were really tired. So after the 11 p.m. we even with the alarm, we didn't wake her up until like 7 when she would usually wake up in the morning. And when we woke her up, let's get ready for nursery. It's time for nursery. Guess what? Rama jumped up and instead of the usual money, mommy, money, papa, mommy, I want to wee, I want to wee. We're like, okay, she didn't wake up at night. We just jumped out. We bundled her to the toilet. She went to the toilet. She weed, and while she weed, she was like, you could tell she released a big tension from her blood, and she was like, "Mommy, I held my wee. I held my wee," and we're like, "This is so good." And like I said, this is us training them to be able to, to persevere, to sometimes hold on if they cannot stand up by themselves, or even jump up because they're feeling the urge to wee and they cannot afford to wee on their bed or something. And we gave her what's it called, stickers. Another thing I forgot to mention was we bought a mattress protector so that in case accident happens anytime, your mattress is protected. Again, especially in countries like UK where we are, where the weather can be funny. There's not enough sunshine to dry the bed whenever that happens. So we had to buy mattress protectors just to make sure that if that happens, it doesn't, impact the mattress. All you just do is take off the mattress protector, clean it up, and boom, that's fine. And yeah, that's it. So just to say, as parents, we have a 3.5-year-old now. We may still need to do this, even till they are 4, they are 5 years old, or as long as we see that our children are not, physically or emotionally ready to do this by themselves. They need that support. They need that help to make sure that they wake up just in good time to use the toilet, or as the case may be. I hope you found these tips useful. I hope someone is going to try it and give a thumbs up. Or moms, or dads, moms, guardians, can you please put some comments down? How did you potty train your little one? What were the tips that you found very useful that possibly you could reckon with based on what I've said, or I did not even mention at all? Let everyone learn. There is no gatekeeping in this community. Thank you. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. If you love this video, share, comment, and like. Let's engage. Thank you.